Hey, Thizo, my bro, how you doing, bro? You're a hard man to get a hold
I'm
of.
all right, my man.
Jeez.
I'm a busy man, bro. I'm a busy man.
Bro, but nice to see you again, bro. We had a young substitute chat with my boy Shingai, and it was dope, man. I think we had like how many views? Like about 20 something views. And I was like, man, that's not bad. So also it hit me that we don't really say anything to the viewers, or so just want to say hi to the viewers, football bias, we back at it again. Just chatting about the beautiful
What it
game.
do?
It's that channel, where everything is in everything, but everything is football, you understand? So let's just get into the thick of things. First of all, brother, how you doing today?
I'm all right, my bro. How are you?
I'm easy, bro. I'm easy, bro. So usually, like I was chatting to you off air, like usually chat about like the games that happen over the weekend, but I feel like now it's already like Wednesday. We're already looking ahead. So I just want to have like a broad chat, and it's just kind of coincidence that you're wearing the kind of shirt over there. So I think I don't want it to be like an Arsenal chat too much, but I feel like it's trending a lot. It's happening a lot. People are talking about it a lot. Rival fans are hoping for that 007 to hit the boy. So Kai Havertz, obvious, the enigma, the man, the myth, whatever you want to call it. So I just saw something quite interesting on my side, right? That I wanted to read out to you. And then just before we get into the chat, I just want to get your overall thoughts
hmm
on that thing. So let me just find it. Ish, ish. But yeah, while I'm trying to find it, what were your overall thoughts on like just the I'll say the general feeling around him. Let's not talk about him as the play, but just the general chatter, the feeling, like how you feel, and all just about that.
I think it's twofold. One, I think that he's very unfortunate in the sense that he's coming off of an already tricky season, not just for Chelsea, but for him as well. Where you're really just being like moved around. You're being played a bit here, a bit there. So no one really knows where you're actually supposed to thrive. And then, like, on the second part, you're coming into an Arsenal side which overachieved last season and went into the markets and strengthened to put them in prime position to win the league this season, right? And unfortunately, because of the player profile that he is, and this is something that I also didn't think of before, was how he was going to actually fit in to the team. And I think he's unfortunately a player that needs time, as we've seen, to actually have a chance at making it work. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if he's going to get the time that he needs, particularly if we're not winning games, right? So if we're blowing teams away, I think patience across the board would be a lot better. And we're seeing a lot of instances where he's like scapegoated, right? So you look at the Fulham result, a lot of things went wrong. But if you were to ask Arsenal fans, what's the one thing, that's like the cause of that result, their first response will like be Kai Havertz, right? But it's not like he gave possession away, which led to a goal or scored an own goal or anything like that. It's just that he's still trying to find his place in the team. So I think that it's quite unfortunate for him. It's quite unfortunate for us as a club as well because we've spent 65 mil on him as a player in the hope that he's going to come in and make us better. But unfortunately, that's going to need time, and I'm not sure if we have the time, especially if City are going to win games like they're going to win this past weekend, where they're conceding 85th minute and 88th minutes, they're scoring like to win the game, and it's their holding midfielder Rodri scoring it. You know, I just think that that pressure is, in my opinion, gonna lead like Arteta to put this project on hold. You know, and just go back to basics, flat back four, everybody in their established positions, and string together a few positive results.
Mm.
Um, yeah, that's my view. I just think Kai
I
Havertz is unfortunately unlucky.
I agree with it, man. I agree with a lot of what you say, man. And it's just the way I think about it, man, is like Arteta just he's trying to be too much peppy, and I don't like the comparisons because I see the differences, but now I'm also seeing a lot of the similarities. Do you understand? And like he's just like for instance, when I watch there was something I was watching on YouTube where this guy was speaking like he's a Chelsea fan. And he was like, okay, Arsenal went out to buy this guy, right? But number one, when you look at it and you strip it down, like, is he better than Odegaard in that eighth position? No. Is he better than Gabriel Jesus in the ninth position? No. Is he better than Saka in the right wing? No. Is he better than Martinelli in the left wing? No. So where did he improve the team to this level that we wanted him to? Because we spent this much money on, if we spent 40 mil, 35 mil on this guy, I'd be like, okay, yeah, that's okay. But 65 to 70 mil on this guy showed me that he was coming there to start. And we didn't get this guy to come and but now when we strip it down again, he's never played in the position that Arteta wants him to play, this left center mid, what. In Leverkusen, he was like playing the Odegaard vibe, where he'd be able to cut in on the left. So he's never played this position. So then that makes me get into the thinking of like, it felt like Arteta had a hard on for this guy because we were linked with this guy for one day. Next thing is, here we go, Fabrizio Romano. Hey, man. Now, all of us were like trying to mellow into it, and all of a sudden he's there. He's wearing his Gunners jersey. So it also didn't give us time to like really dissect this thing. So then we're just like, okay, sharp. We're like, sharp, let Arteta do what he's doing, right? Let him try and do this philosophy that he's trying to do. But then we come back to what you were saying, whereby we're not winning games. We won 2 games and we drew 1, right? But also when Man City keep winning, like you said, it adds a spotlight. But also when we need to add context now, if I were to play devil's advocates, when we add context, City have played 2 promoted teams. We expect them to win, right? And also, we haven't played any promoted teams so far. So we'll also, what I positively feel, we'll also gain these points in hand. So it was 2 points dropped. But across the season, I can see City also dropping 2 points. But now when we get into deeper context, when we say we're playing United this weekend, so that's like a must win. We can't drop points there because City are playing Fulham. So then if City drop points to Fulham, now what's going to happen now? Because it seems like we're also having like a big meltdown. And we need to like take context of everything, but also understand that it's such a now thing. People think that Arsenal need to win the league now, like it needs to happen now. Like I'm a gooner, but I'm not. I wouldn't be happy. I'm not saying I don't want us to win it, but I would completely get it if we don't win it now. And because now when I get back into that is where I find now when it's going to lead into the chat that I found with what I was saying to you, right? So I found this tweet from this guy. So this is what he's saying. In terms of Arsenal, they've aged down their squad this summer. As painful as it is to hear, the underlying strategy of our recruitment policy is to be ready when City lands a brutal shock to the system. And the shock to the system, he says, is Pep leaving. If this season was about the jugular, we'd have signed 28-year-old ready-made players. Does that mean we're trying not to compete? No. Does it mean we can't win the league this season? No. But it does mean you have to contextualize, number one, why Arteta broke down what it felt like a winning machine, which is the flat back four you were saying, Partey playing his normal position and all of that. Number two, why he's moving towards a formational fluidity. And number three, why he's taking risks so early on with the rotation. So he's saying, and then he goes on to say, I don't want to keep reading on, but he says, we topple City by investing in better ideas. Our idea last season was the same 13 players that were playing in and out until it broke. It was too predictable and too prone to breaking down. Because we lose one wheel, it's done. We lost Saliba, it was finished. We lost Gabriel Jesus, we kept it going. You understand what I'm saying? And then he goes on to say that requires short-term pain, but long-term relief. We'll be much more better suited to beat Man City than Liverpool were, who were rapidly declining after winning the league because they only had an established old starting 11. So basically what this guy is trying to say is the strategy that Arsenal fans are on is, we lost the league by 1 point last season, or not by 1 point, I'm like, we lost the league by coming second by 5 points, right? But now, how do we want to win the league now, but how do we build something that can establish us to a point where we become like City in the sense where for the next 5 or 6 campaigns of this period, we are competing for the league. Not to say we're going for it now, going for the jugular, we want it now, we're gonna get it now, and then come next season or the season after, we just like fading like Liverpool were in the sense. Don't want to compare to Liverpool because they're mitigating circumstances, but his point is being driven by that effect of saying, we don't want to compete now with it. He's going into this way so that he can have something to compete for the long time being. But we're in a results business whereby the opportunity is there now for us to go there and get it now. So now that I've said that, which was a mouthful, that was very interesting. Like I found this guy very interesting. Let me just find his handle, man. I don't want to just say his things without thingy. So he's called at LeGrove. Like it's very like I like his stuff. So check him out. I'll probably leave his link in the description below. So anyway, yeah, what do you think, bro, about after hearing that?
I think for me, that's like it's a safe thing. It's a safe stance to have as an Arsenal fan, because it takes the pressure off like the present moment. And we're hoping that like in the future we'll be able to hedge that bet so well that in the future, like when we win, it's one of those, you see what I was telling you. But unfortunately, sports doesn't work that way. Like we're in a winning business, and if you don't win when you should be winning, there's no guarantee that you're gonna win in future because you don't have control over that. As much as we've gotten these our Yama squad to commit, right? You see, we've tied down Saliba, Saka, Martinelli. That's great, right? We've tied them down for the next 3-4 years. What happens after that? Because now we've sold them on the project, right? That's what's helped us keep this talent. That's what's helping us attract. Because everybody's just like, oh shit, we didn't see Arsenal coming. But clearly, they knew what they were doing, and that's why they ended up second. It can only get better from here. If we stagnate, right, that derails all of that. Then you're having young kids saying,
but that's what I feel.
Maybe the project.
But that's what I feel, not to cut you, bro. That's what I feel like. I hear what you're saying, right? But like, that's what I feel also is that I feel like there's a certain meltdown among the fan base. Maybe it's the thing of like, we're not winners to the core, so we don't know how to act, like we ain't been here before, so to speak. So saying it bluntly. So that's why I'm like, I'm not saying this to, and also from him, what I gather, he's not saying this to say that we are building for the future. No, because even if we look at the buys, bro, the buys are for now, but they are also for the future. It's not like he's going to buy like Chelsea are, like, and that's what Chelsea are building for the future with buying the way that they're buying. He's not saying we're building for the future. He's saying we are building a structure, a team, a philosophy to say that even if I don't have this 11, I have this 15, 16, 17 type of players, however many players who I can have a core and build with to the point whereby I am challenging for a sustained period. So even though I say that with saying in jest, I can see why they want to win now, because Kai Havertz is not a player for 2 years later. He's for now. Timber might be a player for a couple years, but he's also for now. Declan Rice is a player for the future, but he's also for now. So now when we say that, I don't say that to say that we are building for the future without us being able to win now. Right now, he's just saying there are growing pains because we've changed a lot from that team that didn't win the league. We've changed a lot. The starting 11 has changed, the whole squad structure has changed. You know what I mean? We lost our doctor. Like, people need to take consciousness of that, of saying that a lot has changed. And if we don't win the league now, right? I'm not saying we must fall off, finish fourth, third, whatever. I want us to be challenging, even at a point, even if it was like last season, be challenging till the last 5, 6, 7, whatever type of many games. That's what I want to see. I don't want us to see us just fall away and be flat. No. I said in my prediction that I don't see Arsenal winning the league. That's just my personal opinion. I'd love it if they do. However, I can see why. This is my reasoning why. That's why I brought this to say this guy perfectly articulated why I don't see us winning the league now. But if you say to me next season, right, I talk by fire, by force. But also that will, how this season goes on and ends will also enforce that idea, whether or not. But I'm just saying,
And
I see us challenging, but like, bro, if we
that's
don't,
my issue right there. Like, as much as I get that it's a project, you have to give players time, all of that. For me, if we're not winning this season, then like what's gonna lead me to believe we're winning next season? You know, because everyone goes into the
it's not the
season
end of the world,
believing that
Thizo.
they're gonna be better. Everyone is strengthening. No one's going into Liverpool aren't at the end of the season gonna say, look, this season we're okay with just top 4, but watch us next season. Bro, we can't keep saying.
But people say that like we're not
season,
strengthening. Everybody strengthens. We strengthen. You strengthen. I strengthen. He strengthens. Everybody strengthens, bro.
we have the squad to do that now. There is no reason
We don't.
for us. What do you mean we don't? Bro, last season, part of the reason, you see, that guy references how we became predictable last season, right? That's because we played with the same squad over and over again, right?
But you can't expect that to just change in the snap of a finger.
That's why you have depth. That's why you have the luxury of depth in your squad. That's what makes City special, because you lose KDB and you give Foden more time. You give Alvarez time, right? That's the whole point of having depth. So for me, it's not a future. It's not a future thing. It's like you need depth to be able to compete on multiple fronts to win. Last season we didn't have that. We have that now. Why are we still like talking about the winning in the future?
Thizo, we're not Thizo. That's what I'm saying. Nobody's talking about winning in the future, bro. Let's not take this conversation there.
Next season is future.
Yes, but that's not. I'm not saying. I'm not. This is my. I'm talking about my personal prediction, right? I'm not saying this is the philosophy that Arteta and them are going with. I believe they want to win it now. That's what I solely believe, right? But somebody of conscious, sound body and mind, like I believe I am, and this brew that I was reading says to you, we can see why, and also why you saying, and a lot of fans like Arsenal are saying, we need depth, we need all of this, which is the same mentality that Arteta had, which is saying that we're going into this season, we need depth, we need to be not non-predictable, we need to have a lot of different ways for us to play and break people down, right? But now it's the same people that are saying he must go back to a flat back 4, the whole same predictable thing that didn't win us. I'm just trying to get you into that thing whereby, bro, we as the fan base, we are so all over the place. Because why? The same people who was crying about being unpredictable, we are the same ones who are saying, no, go back to a flat back 4, play Gabriel, we're supposed to play Partey here, play here. Then we're going to go back to that same
reason,
where we are
right?
Same unpredictable. Bro, come on, bro.
No, but if we think what cost us more last season, the fact that we were predictable or injuries, or was our lack in depth, right? Where even when you can see that Saka's not producing, Martinelli is not producing, right? Like, who are you bringing off the bench? Because it was Trossard. That's it. Your depth, your attacking depth was Leandro Trossard. That's it. No one else did you believe could come onto the pitch and actually influence the game for you, so much so that you're comfortable taking out a Bukayo Saka. There was no one there for that. Like,
But
and what
it's
I'm saying is that the difference is now, now you have more at your disposal, right? And I think Eddie's also been um,
yeah.
a great proponent of that, right? Because he's coming in and he's saying, guys, I'm not just here to step in when Jesus gets injured. I want to actually challenge for this position. What does that mean? That means, based on current form, Gabriel Jesus doesn't deserve to just walk back into the side, right? He needs to earn his spot back. And that could be not necessarily as the nine. We've seen him play as a wing at City. If Eddie keeps
Mm-hmm.
banging in goals, that's such a nice problem to have, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem that we didn't have last season because as great as Eddie was, right, you couldn't wait to have Jesus back.
Yeah, yeah,
You
facts.
literally couldn't wait to have Jesus back. You just
Yeah.
like, as soon as that man's back, Eddie, thanks a lot, you go back to the bench, right? But right now, that isn't the case.
Yeah.
My boy Nketiah got 2 starts and he came off the bench. Guess what? He's scoring. You give him a chance, he's scoring the goals. That means that for the foreseeable future, he's our number 9. What does that mean? That means that, bro, if Bukayo Saka hasn't done anything in 60 minutes, right? Give him a rest. Maybe he needs a rest. And that's what I'm saying. Like Thomas Partey, last season we ran him into the ground. We knew going into those last few weeks, there were rumors about him having an injury, him carrying an injury. And when we look at how he was moving in those games, and remember, he's the one that offers our defense the support that it needs for it to stay solid, right? He also allows our attack to be able to go up, your Xhakas, your Odegaards, and your front three. They're
Mm-hmm.
so confident that he's going to cover them that everybody's able to build up and do their own thing, right? They're fully focused on the press in front because they know Partey's got them at the back, right? He's carrying an injury and we're persisting playing every single game with him because we know what it's like not to have Partey there. And when you think of bringing in Jorginho, it's not the same player profile,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we couldn't replace him even if we wanted to. So we had to force and say, bro, you may be carrying an injury, but guess what, my nigga? You're going to play. Whether that means you're going to get injured while you're playing, but you're playing.
Facts.
Whether,
Facts.
like, we can, bro, you could see in those last few weeks, that is not Thomas Partey in his normal stuff, like in his normal form. You can see that. But because there isn't anyone that can be brought on to
Mm-hmm.
do what you do, we force and we persist with that. Now we like those aren't problems we have anymore. Now we can say, Thomas Partey, bro, you look like you need a rest. My nigga, catch a rest. Right? And we may not play Rice and Partey aren't the same player,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? But we now have someone who can step in and hold the fort
Mm-hmm.
while you catch a breather. We now have someone who can do that. And for me, that is what makes you a title winning side, right? Is that you need to have the depth you can bring in, bro, to be able to fill the holes. You don't need the same kind of player, but you need someone who can do the role. And that for me is why if Arsenal don't win or don't
Mm-hmm.
at least challenge right until the last 3 weeks, for me it's 3 weeks. Anything before that is a failure. If
Okay. All
Arsenal
right.
don't
Let
challenge,
me
it
let
is a
me not
failure.
cut you. Let me not cut you too much, bro. I think my battery is gonna die. Let me just get it in the charger. Then we're gonna be back in a second.
I
Um,
oh good.
yeah, sorry about that, people. Yeah, we back, we live, everything's good. Mzansi, South Africa. Sometimes we battle with the electricity, but we back, we good. So yeah, bro, I just wanted you to close on your point that you were making about you said Arsenal 3 games left, they have to be challenging for the title. You ain't taking nothing less.
100%, bro. Anything less would be a failure. Um, you can't go and strengthen and end up in a worse position than you were. Uh, I want to say barring anything catastrophic, but I feel like we're so well balanced now that even if something catastrophic does happen, like, bro, in every position on the pitch, like we have a reasonable amount of depth. But I don't feel like we're overstacked in any positions, which is also a really good place to be. So yeah, It's that or nothing, bro. We either push City to within 3 games at the end of the season, or win the league. Ideally, anything other than that would be a failure.
Hmm. No, I feel you. I feel you. I feel you, bro. I feel you. And then, so we've basically closed on that point. And then I just wanted us to conclude on the Kai Havertz chat. Where's this thing that I found? I just found a bit of stats on my side. I don't want us to be a stats
Okay,
person,
okay.
but I just found some chats. So what I found, right?
Yeah.
What's happening also with this guy is that he's still only 24, Thizo. So I think it's very hard to, like I said, 24 is a relatively proper age in football. Not to say young or anything, but he's still only 24. And the way I thought about it, I had an analogy in my mind that I thought about. It's like, with Havertz there, it's like adopting a lady, right? You're in your head, you're
Okay.
going to adopt a kid, right? So now when you're going to adopt this kid, you're going to the foster home, going to adopt a kid. So instead of adopting a young, fresh out baby from the cot, crying, wang, nah, you just happen to see a preteen boy, you know what I mean, toddler to preteen, and you can see that he's troubled, he's a troubled youth, but you just made a connection with him somehow. So now you're like, you know what, baby, listen, man, let's take this boy needs a home. Otherwise, he's gonna get lost in the system. He needs a home. Let's bring him into our home. so, so he comes into the home, and now this kid, he's preteen. He's been in the foster system for so long. You know what I mean? Battling just the mud. He like Chelsea is the mud, bro. It's golden mud.
I wanted to say that. I'm like, is Chelsea the mud we're talking about?
It's Chelsea is golden mud, bro. It's like it's that nice mud. Like it's not mud, but to be fair, he was in the mud in the sense he's playing different positions. 9, right wing, left wing, cam. Like it was just done all over the place. So now we're sitting with this kid. So basically, he's learned all these bad habits.
Okay.
So he needs to unlearn all of these bad habits. He's coming into a place with stability, a place with discipline, a place that can allow him to grow and flourish. So in that sense, my analogy comes into that. But also now, he will also need to understand that if we keep my analogy alive, now you're old, we can have a conversation with you, right? To say, listen, I've taken you in, right? But if my wife or somebody you're not treating her with respect, and you're not, when I tell you to clean your room, you don't clean your room type of thing, we're going to have problems. And I don't want us to have problems because you and I built a connection. I convinced my wife to bring you in. So you and I need to have you know what I mean? He's young, so we're going to teach you. So in the sense of like, I am willing to have patience with him, but he also needs to understand that being 24 is not being 19. You need to have a bit more about you. The thing I don't like, and I will back him because I back anything with the club. I'm not stupid enough to go with it blindly, but I'll say I'll back him in the sense of like, bro, when you get the ball and you're passing the ball, I expect the ball to go straight to another player. Basic. I expect you when there's a 50-50 sprint, like, bro, like your life depends on it. I expect you when we are in the attacking phase of play, show yourself, have a bit of something about you, So I'll have patience to a sense, in the sense of like he's still coming in. And if we look at stats wise, there were stats that were coming up in the Sky Sports, but I want to go into my phone too much. But in the sense, like he's made more successful passes, had less sprints because he's not playing in the front lines anymore. He's playing in the middle. He's made more passes, more successful passes. Like things are there's I don't want to say promising signs, but there's growing pains. So I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubts to say, in a few months, I need to be seeing more. We can't be coming to maybe just before the Christmas festive period, and you're still the same languid guy. You're not really in the game. You're not really like giving anything. Then I'm like, I cut. But I feel like to cut everything 3 games in is just very premature, very like extra. And I get it. And we Arsenal fans, and we are extra. We're very extra. We're a lot. We expect a lot from a team that hasn't done a lot, which is very strange. But it is what it is. So in that sense, that's just what I feel. How I want to close off with the Kai Havertz thing is I'm not impressed, but there's no reason for me to go ballistic because I get it. It's just a lot of things that need to come into place for him. And also I feel like, and a lot of people have been saying it's like, get Gabriel Jesus playing, get Zinchenko playing, and you'll see it differently, totally different Havertz. Because when there's Zinchenko playing, he doesn't have to like, he can get the ball quicker in that position. And also with a Gabriel Jesus playing, he can occupy so many different spaces that can allow him to go in and fill those spaces. So that's what I'm saying. I'd like to see that and haven't seen that. So it's very hard for me to have a definite opinion on it. And you know me, bro. I hated and slated Kai Havertz all day I could, like without a chance. But I feel like he's an Arsenal player from what I see. But Arsenal players have a bit of grit, a bit of bite. Well, not that much, but now with the Arteta regime, so I need to see a bit more of that. If I don't, then I'm going to write him off and cut. So how would you close
so does he start this weekend?
No.
Okay.
No. This weekend, we need to see Rice, Partey, Odegaard in the mid. I don't like, and we need to see Gabriel in the midfield, in back in the defense, and Zinchenko starting. If I can see those Zinchenko, Gabriel, Partey, Rice, Odegaard midfield, then I'll be fine. Then you can do whatever you want with the rest. That's just the core I want to see. We need to get those guys back. And that's all I want to see. And if we get those guys back, man, we're beating United, bro. So let's not go into that too much. But how would you want to close it off on that Havertz chat, bro?
Look, I think he needs time. I think he won't be able to get time in the Premier League because stakes are so high. I think the 3 games that he's had, where he's shot to kind of solidify this whole idea of him potentially being our 8 in the present time, right? I think that ship has kind of sailed until we're in a different position. So maybe we'll see it in like an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup game, but I think Havertz will get the time that he needs. I hope that it will bear fruits. Just don't want to see it in the league.
It's not cutting it in the league, bro.
Stakes are too high, bro. Stakes are way too high to be experimenting.
Okay. Nah, I feel you, bro. And then so yeah, it's been a nice chat, man, chatting about the Gooners, bro. And in future, we'll be, like I wanted to bring when you were sick on Monday, I think on Monday, I wanted to chat with Neo because it was, after Liverpool beating Newcastle like that, 10 men. It was like, yo, it was crazy. So then I was just like, I told him, let's chill because like honestly, I want to just chat about this Havertz thing. Like it's just also me, I want to get my opinions off, bro. Like it's just been nagging in me on my mind. So I just want to get it off and then we'll focus on things in future. So in general, I just want to ask you, what do you constitute a good season is for Arsenal in all competitions we play? So we've played the Community Shield and we've won it. So I'll say Premier League. What's a good season for Arsenal Premier League? Oh, you've already predicted that they win. So that's for you. Set. Okay. Champions League.
Win or come within 3 games of winning.
Win or come within 3 games of winning. Okay, sharp. Then Champions League.
Minimum the knockout stages. Purely because, and I'm just saying
which
stages
knockout?
Because it's new.
Which knockout?
Even round of 16. it's a completely new experience, and we're also not sure how, like, what the group that we're gonna be in is looking like. So I think regardless of that, we're good enough to at least make knockout stages in the Champions League this season.
Yeah, I need more than that. Sorry. FA Cup.
At least a final. Same with Carabao. At least a final. I can't think of a team other than City that should go toe to toe with us when we're in full flow. And I think last season was a very clear indicator of that. And I think we're also good enough now where we have enough depth to be able to compete better than most of the teams in the league, even if we're not playing our like established starting 11. So that's how I'm saying, like, we have no business ending up, like, if we're being realistic, semi-finals. Okay. But for me, I genuinely expect that we at least reach the finals of both FA and Carabao. Yeah,
I'd agree with you. I think my predictions are pretty much the same with the league. You say 3 games. 3 games, even though my prediction is for City to win it, but I'd agree with you on that. Like, we have to be within touching distance. They can't run away with it. Champions League, I need at least a quarterfinal, bro. I need at least a quarterfinal. Like, get me out of the group stage. Take me out of last 16, then let's battle with the last 8, just so that we can show that we came to the big boy table, and next year, we are coming back type of thing. And then, with the FA and the Carabao, I'd agree with you. We need to at least reach the finals, or at least a semi-final in one and a final in one. But whichever one, I don't really care, because I don't like, I rate FA Cup higher. So if you win a Carabao, I'm not gonna, even though I slated United fans for it, I'm not gonna get excited for it. Like, to be fair, I'm gonna wave it around like they did. I'm gonna wave it around like, yeah, Carabao, but it's really not, bro. If we end the season with just the Carabao and top 4, like, I'm not happy, bro. Like, I'm really not happy with that season. I'm not happy.
Agreed.
So yeah, man. But anyway, man, I'm glad we got to get it off our chest, man. Chat the goons. So hopefully we'll have another one when the goons are doing the most. But I want to try to remain as impartial and objective as possible. So throughout this journey. So man, I appreciate talking to you. So yeah, man, shout out to the people that are watching, just wanting to like, subscribe. If it's 5 of you, 3 of you, whatever it is, appreciate it. And yeah, let's keep it going. Shout out, bro. Appreciate it, man. Have a good one, man. Say hi to the wife and kids. Keep it safe, man. When you making a second lighty, bro?
Bro, pending. Pending.
I'm surprised there isn't one yet. Project Mbappe, bro. Come on.
Still trying to enjoy the first one.
The first one's old, bro. Come on. It's time, Thizo. Project Mbappe. Project Mbappe. We're sleeping on money, Thizo.
Nah, I got you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man, bro. Peace, man.
Peace out, my nigga.